and welcome to the 2024 League of Women Voters of Hingham Annual Warrant Review. My name is Kathy Schätzlein, and I'm a member of the Hingham League. Our league is proud to be a nonpartisan grassroots organization working to protect and expand voting rights and ensure everyone is represented in our democracy. We empower voters and defend democracy through advocacy, education, and litigation at the local, state, and national levels. Our local league has been providing this warrant review for 12 years, and this is an example of how we work to empower our Hingham community with the knowledge needed to play an informed and active role in our local government. If you happen to be new to town, our league has produced a booklet entitled The Citizen's Guide to Open Town Meeting, which you can find on our league website under Town Meeting. This is a practical way to learn about the legislative process of open town meeting. In our effort to influence public policy, our league studies current issues, holds member consensus meetings on the findings of these studies, and then we advocate for policies that our membership has come to consensus on. For example, the League supports the position that citizens have the opportunity to participate in government decision-making. Therefore, in 2011, the Hingham League sponsored a warrant article requiring that the Hingham warrant be made available to the public 10 days after the January 20th deadline. We believe earlier access to the warrant allows citizens optimal opportunity to research the articles, engage in the review process, and ask questions at the various board hearings. In 2021, the League successfully sponsored a warrant article calling to amend the town's general bylaws to include gender-neutral terms. The decision to sponsor this petition was grounded in the League's position and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion in principle and in practice. This year, 2024, is a big election year, and as expected, there's a lot of political noise. But now is the time to tune into our local government cycle as town meeting and town elections are on our horizon. To view this year's warrant articles for yourself, please go to the town's website, where these are available under the Town Meeting link. And now I'd like to welcome the League's own Nancy McDonald, Chair of the Advisory Committee, who will be reviewing the Advisory Committee process and addressing some of the articles of interest. Nancy, thank you for sharing your time and expertise with us.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, I am Nancy McDonald, the current chair of the Hingham Advisory Committee. First, I'd like to thank the League for their commitment to public engagement and voter education. You provide a valuable resource to the town, and I thank you for the opportunity to be part of that process. Let's start with how Hingham is run. What makes Hingham Hingham? Hingham has a proud history of volunteerism and self-governance. The town is served by a series of elected boards who are supported by a dedicated professional staff. Town volunteers inform the recommendations made to the town, but ultimately it is town meeting who decides the priorities of the town. Organizationally, this is how that looks. Hingham voters elect officers and boards. By Mass General Law, the school administration reports to the school committee, and the municipal departments, run by the town administrator, report to the select board. Currently, Hingham has 55 volunteer committees, commissions, councils, and boards. Some of these are permanent and provide citizen input to our boards and departments, and some are created for specific purposes and are dissolved once that purpose has been served. This is done by town meeting through various warrant articles. I myself have served on various committees in our 23 years in Hingham, starting with the 4th of July Parade Committee. I love any parade, but our 4th of July parade is simply the best, and I wanted to help. What I can tell you is that serving on various committees through the years has been an honor and a pleasure. I have met so many good and dedicated people and have a better appreciation for how the town runs and how broad and varied our citizens and their wants and needs are. I urge you to fill out a Hingham Talent Bank application for a committee of interest. That is what self-governance looks like. Today, I serve on the town's advisory committee. We're a group of 15 volunteers appointed by the moderator for 2 3-year terms, limited to 2 terms. We have 2 major functions. We serve as the town's finance committee, reviewing all the budgets developed by the various committees and departments for the upcoming fiscal year. We also review all proposed articles that appear in the warrant and provide a recommended action to town meeting based on our review. Ultimately, it is town meeting, our citizens, who decide. Let's start with the budgets. This year, we are reviewing 50 budgets, 48 municipal budgets, the school budget, and the capital outlay budget. We do this over a series of 12 of our meetings between December and March. During these meetings, each department head provides a presentation of the department's mission, priorities, measures, and benchmarks, and key initiatives. In that context, we review the department's budget for the upcoming year, compare it to the previous years, evaluate changes, and consider the budget impacts both today and in the out years. The current proposed budget for FY25 is $155.4 million, with education being 55%, municipal spending being 29%, and shared services across all departments, things like life insurance, debt service, and benefits, making up the remaining 16%. For the purposes of the graph, I excluded self-funding items like our enterprise funds and fee-funded items as they have no tax impact. When we review the budget, we take into consideration many factors, both internal to that specific budget as well as for the town as a whole. Our guide through this process is the town's financial policy. This document, in its current form, has been in place since 2008, when the town's finances were in not such good shape, exacerbated by the Great Recession. Righting the ship has taken time. Our financial policy outlines 3 main categories of consideration: financial management, including use of unassigned fund balance, also called free cash or the town savings account, capital outlay, and debt service. The financial policy, available on the advisory committee page of the town's website, is reviewed every 3 years by the advisory committee. Financial targets are based on the input of the town's contracted financial advisors, the select board, town's bond counsel, town council, and others. Since 2009, the policy has been reviewed and updated 12 times by 64 different citizens serving as advisory committee members. We also look at our sources of revenue. In Hingham, about 72% of our revenue comes from property tax, and the vast majority of property in Hingham is residential. By law, our tax levy can only increase by 2.5% each year, so we are dependent on other growth factors for additional revenue. During the past 15 years, Hingham has enjoyed a high rate of new growth, Derby Street, Black Rock, the shipyard, among others. But new growth has slowed substantially. Currently, there are no near-term major developments in the forecast, which we could count on for increased revenue. This year's budget process is also informed by the voters' passage of 2 debt exclusions and an $8 million operational override last fiscal year. These votes allow the town to move forward with the new elementary school project and the new public safety facility, both slated to be completed in 2024. The $8 million operational override is a permanent increase to our taxes. In combination, these articles will increase the average property tax bill by about 20% as the debt gets fully bonded. As part of the debt exclusion vote, voters authorized the use of $7 million of excess unassigned fund balance to lessen the impact of the taxes on our tax bills. In addition, the Select Board, School Committee, Advisory Committee, Town Administrator, and the school superintendent agreed to a financial management plan that is a commitment to the town that we will not pursue another operational override in the next 3 years, and that the school budget and municipal budget will be held to the 3.5% growth rate recommended by the Sustainable Budget Task Force. As an aside, if you haven't read the report of the task force available on the town's website, I urge you to do so. It is a wealth of information about our town and our finances. Lastly, the town also voted to create 2 new stabilization funds, allowing us to earmark excess unassigned fund balance to be used in the out years to fill revenue shortfalls, as outlined in the financial management plan and detailed in our financial policy. The importance of the tax stabilization fund in particular is highlighted by looking at the 5-year forecast. Even with the 3.5% control, we don't have the revenue to support our projected spending in the out years. We will fill that gap with excess unassigned fund balance, which currently is roughly $9 million. Based on January's forecast, you can see that in FY25, 26, and 27, we will likely need all those funds to balance our budget through FY27. Now let's switch over to the other role of the advisory committee, which is to review warrant articles brought to the select board for consideration on the warrant. Warrant articles can be sponsored by boards, committees, or through citizens petition. Articles are reviewed by town council, heard by the select board or the planning board, as well as by the advisory committee. Per our bylaws, town meeting is on the fourth Monday in April. This year, that date coincides with the start of Passover, so the select board voted to move town meeting to Wednesday, April 24th for this year. As of today, there are 44 proposed articles for this year's warrant. 13 of these are referred to as the perennials. These are articles that by our own bylaws or state law, we are required to vote on annually. There are 10 zoning articles put forward by the planning board, and there are 16 articles put forward by the select board, the light board, the retirement board, the sewer commission, and a few others. Here's a list of the articles before us that do not require funding. Of special note is the acceptance of Mass General Law, which will help expand the pool of eligible candidates for our public safety departments. The sale of the town's beloved tree and park barn, the naming of the new elementary school, and finally, some movement on installing additional cell towers in town. A lot of good stuff. Articles requesting funding include adding to the stabilization funds created last year, a new playground with CPC funds, as well as a new fire engine. And lastly, here are the zoning articles before us, including allowing for a brew pub in town, as well as compliance with the new state-mandated MBTA community zoning requirements. As you can see, we have a lot of important business to conduct at town meeting. Did I mention the town meeting will be on Wednesday, April 24th this year? Mark your calendars. So how can you learn more? I encourage you to visit the town's website and make use of the wide range of resources and information available there. To wrap up, I'd like to thank the League again for all you do to help engage and inform our citizens. And citizens, I encourage you to be a part of our heritage of self-governance. I'll see you at town meeting.
Thank you, Nancy, for your presentation and for your service to the town. We'd also like to thank Harbor Media for their expertise in making this production possible. This has been a presentation by the League of Women Voters of Hingham. We invite you to view our website for more information and hope that you'll consider joining the League. Everyone is welcome. We look forward to seeing you at town meeting on April 24th. Thank you.